All right, since I've had a couple of questions on the discussion board about barcode support in the last couple of hours, I figured I would do a quick state of the union, I guess, for the feature or features around barcode scanning and printing. Actually, I won't do printing at the moment because it'll require a little bit more configuration, but I can at least show how it works. Okay, so barcodes are, I guess, not tricky, but it requires a bit of work to set up. So first step here, we would find our product and we'd associate a barcode with it. I'll show you what I'm doing here. I don't have video, but I'll just describe what I'm doing. I'm holding up a notebook with a UPC on it, and I'm going to scan that. So in most cases, you're not going to use a UPC for your code. You would put it somewhere else. These are deprecated fields, but eventually we're going to have a standard way of setting up identifiers for a product and allowing you to search for them. But for now, those three fields are good enough. And then there's also these product sources. You can have your own supplier codes and manufacturer codes, and those are all scannable. For now, just for ease of demonstration, I'm just going to set this UPC as the product code or your SKU. So let's do a quick chord stock here and say we've got, I don't think we have batch numbers on this, so we're not going to say. I'm just going to say we've got 120 notebooks somewhere in the warehouse. We could probably put a location if we wanted to. I'm just going to say it's in the default location. And now if I go back to the dashboard, if I do a scan here, we find our product. That's nice. You can also come in here. That's too big. Let's look at this one here. So this one, go back to here and we'll scan here. Again, I'm just using a external barcode scanner, USB wireless. And I'm just going to say, let's go with 20 here. So in the main web app, it's, you can use the barcode scanner to make things a little bit more convenient, but that's not at all really useful. Because when you're actually walking around the warehouse, holding onto a external, a barcode scanner and a laptop is kind of a pain in the neck. So what we've done, and even if you're using like a card or something like that, it's still kind of a pain in the neck, and you got to click on the different fields that you want to scan into, and it's just a nightmare. What we wanted to do was we started using, I started building a web app for the TC20 series. So right now this is a screen, I'm using screen copy to basically take what's in my hand, which is the Zebra TC20 device, and it's going to mirror it to my laptop right now. So I'm going to log in, and this is where things get a little bit more convenient. You can log into any of the locations. Right now I'm going to log into Central Logistics Warehouse, and I'm going to be presented with a bunch of features. That have icons that are pretty gross, but ignore that for a second. What we're going to do is actually go back out and find the order that I want to pick here. So we've got an order that's in picking. I've picked mostly everything except for this 508 folding chairs. And so when I go back into here, I can click this. And the first thing I can do is search for this order. So in most cases, you'll have maybe a barcode printed out. You could just use the barcode that's on here, or you have this barcode probably somewhere, and so we can just scan it like that, and it will take us to that order. From here, in this case, it's just refreshing this page, so we still have to click into it. The next step would be to actually do the picking, and we can. What you'll probably get is either something that looks something like this, or you can download this pick list. So you could be doing most of the work through here, or most of the scans through here. But what the app is going to allow us to do is it's going to tell us what we have, where we have to go pick from, and what we need to scan. So in this case, we've got an LPN, which is we're using the lot number to include sort of an inbound LPN pallet, license plate number for the pallet. I don't know if this is common, but we have a bunch of locations, both active and reserve locations, that are going to have a pallet with a specific LPN. So it's just going to be one giant pallet with a lot of product on it. In this case, we have a full pallet pick, as you can see here, and we want to scan this here. So I'm going to go to my go over to that location in the warehouse, which is this one here, AA012, and I'm going to scan the LPN first. And oops, I got the wrong one. And I want to do the 10 first. So I'm going to go here, scan. It's going to tell me that everything's okay, and then I'm going to scan the location, and that verifies as well. And oops, it's a little bit confusing because you have to scroll down a little bit. But here you pick the item. And the app will just move you to the next pick, tell you where to go. And this is going to be, it's not necessarily optimized routing, but it's good enough. It basically will take you to the next location in alphabetical order. At least it should. In fact, I think this is off a little bit, but let's go here and scan this one. Oops. Sorry, I'm just scanning a page that has very small. There we go. Right. And then I'm going to scan the location, and that's good. And now we don't move it. We're going to pick this item. I just realized we're going to need to move this pick button down here. So the assumption is you're going to have a pallet truck or some type of device that you're going to be driving around. If you are using like a pallet truck and you grab one pallet and you need to move it to the packing or staging location, you can click this button to verify where it's going to go. So I'm going to do that right now just to show that feature. So here we're going to have a scan location, which will probably be pack 1 or pack 2. And I don't actually have a barcode for this. So I'm just going to type in pack 1. And it's going to verify it, submit, and those items have been moved. So you haven't, let me try to figure out how to describe this. We haven't moved those items yet. That was just sort of a validation to the user who's doing the moving of the stock, to let them sort of know where they're supposed to put it, and then validate to make sure that they put it in the right location, just so there's no errors later on. We haven't actually moved the stock. In a future version, we're hoping we'll be able to do that, but we just didn't have a transaction for moving from the bin locations to the packing location. So we should have one more item to pick. Again, it's folding chairs, and it's going to be this last LPN here. Apologize for the slowness. Don't know why that's happening. All right, so do that, and then we can scan the location. So I don't have anything on paper, so I'm scanning a computer screen. It's taking a while to get to it. So now we have picked everything. If we need to, it's going to ask us if we want to move. We'll move this one last item to the pack location again. Okay, so now we're going to pack one and submit. And we should be done with that order. And I believe the order will move out of the picking state and move into the packing state. Here we will be able to show you, let's see if I can pull this up. Okay, I'm gonna bring up a printing emulator. So, okay, so I've got a Zebra printer in my, oh shoot, I'm not gonna be able to show this. I've got a Zebra printer in my office, but what I've been using is a Zebra printer emulator, but I'm not going to be able to show that because I don't have it locally. Actually, let me see. I'm going to pause it real quick. All right, so to show the printer capabilities, we're going to go into that packing screen again. So I'll come in here and I'll just describe what we're doing here. So we've got a ZPL and emulator. I have this installed already, so I'm going to go into the application. I'm going to find one we were working on. You can see that we had already started packing it from before. So I have a couple of LPNs on this already that I could be packing with. There's this, yeah, these two items are packed into this LPN, this outbound pallet. So in order to print a label, we could either go to that particular to that palette, and you can scan. We'll show you how to scan that later on. Let's say I create a new LPN for this. I'm going to leave this an open. There's no items associated with this yet, but I might want to print this. So here I'm going to, this is kind of an ugly preview, but you get the point. Unfortunately, these marker labels are enormous. So if you needed to, you could print out a couple. And then I can bring up the emulator and you can see that here. And actually, let me just do that one more time, just so it's clear. So this will just print this barcode label out and you'll be able to print it. And if we needed to actually see if this, sorry, see if this actually is scannable from here. Let's go backwards here, search. Okay, so that is scannable. There is nothing, there are no items that are associated with that, so it's not going to show up. But if I come in here, I click this, we've got a bunch of TV stands we want to associate with this, and then we can scan it. Let's pick that one. The scanning could admittedly be a little bit better here. We shouldn't be opening up a modal, but there's a requirement to both be able to search and also scan. So that this was the best of both worlds, I guess. Here I will put this on to one of the other palette, put it on 3, pack item. And that's about it. So the scanning capabilities exist throughout here. You could scan, I believe it scans the LPN. Yep. So it'll bring us to the shipment that has that LPN in it. In case we need to go back to the scan, in case we need to look at the contents here, I can do a scan of this, and it'll bring up the container and the contents. If I wanted to, I could scan just a product, I believe. So I'm going to scan the tables, say enter. Doesn't look like it wants to do. And it'll bring us up to the product details page, including the availability and sort of the locations that the products are in. And let's see, so yeah. And then the last thing I'll show is the bin location. So here, actually I'll show the lot number. I think that's, both of them are useful. So let's do the lot number here. This will allow us to scan a specific item in case we want to adjust the inventory. If it's in multiple, if that LPN is used, or used in multiple locations, then it will bring up the product details. Otherwise, it'll bring up the specific item, I believe. And this is where you can quickly adjust stock if you need to. So if you go to a specific location, or if you scan an LPN, you'll be able to grab you'll be able to come in here and adjust the stock. So you get the 2 buttons down here: transfer and adjust stock. And that, I think, is about it. Got a lot of features in there that I'm not really showing, but I think that's a good summary of where we are. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there. Thanks.